guys. Just a real quickie. On your 2023 recruiting class, you got 2 5-stars, which is great. You have eight 4-stars and 10 3-stars. But I think Tim and I have talked about this a little bit, and you guys all chime in. Like, is for USC, is this really about filling the gaps that you feel that you need to fill versus, say, just gathering top talent? Because every team from year to year, you're going to lose some key players, and there may be a positional group that's, weaker than the rest. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, you're talking about Nelson. So think about it this way, guys. Who knows who the number one quarterback is? My money's still on Malachi Nelson. But then guess what Riley's getting? He's getting that, but not only he's also getting the top 2 receivers in the country, and Zachariah Branch and Mekhi Lemon's a 4-star. That dude's a 5-star. He's just amazing.
He's amazing.
So it just gets nasty. And then we got another big back, Peterson, who's 6 foot, 200 pounds. It's just gross. I mean, we watched this year. We lost our top 2 receivers, and then we're still putting up 500 yards in offense. I'm granted against some bad defenses, but we are just going to get filthy deep on offense, and I do think the defense is going to fill in as well.
Okay, cool. That was my question.
That was kind of I wanted to get more specific, and in particular on defense. For Tony and Tim, like what. With this transfer portal coming up, what positions do we need to fill on D this season?
All of them. It's fine.
Oh, damn.
We need a number 55.
Let me rephrase that. I think we need to stock up across the board. How about that?
We really need help on our interior defensive line. I think that's something. I don't think I think Peely's gone after this year. But if you look at the teams that are really nasty on defense, they have a difference maker right there in the middle. And I think that's where maybe if I had one place to look at on our defense where I would really like to see it filled would be on our interior defensive line.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you think about the Chris Claiborne days, and I mean, anyone wearing number 55, right? That's the kind of person we need. And Thule's, I mean, he's dang close.
Richard Wood.
Yeah. By the way, I kind of think they should. I kind of think they should give Thule 55 for next week.
Maybe.
Well, we got Tackett Curtis coming in. I've heard a lot of good things.
Maybe just give Tackett 55.
Yeah, Ryan's 247 site. They all talk highly of Tackett Curtis, the linebacker from Louisiana. So I'm really, he's a top 100 player. And
he's also supposed to be a great guy. He's really smart and just really supposed to be a good dude.
And the best part is I think he's going to be able to hit like a freight train. So I like the fact he looks like he's 6'2", 218. He's going to be able to pack on at least another 20 pounds onto that frame and just be a force in the middle. So I'm really excited there. And then Braylon Shelby.
Oh no, Paul K. By the way, I was trying to send you a emoji and I accidentally timed you out. I'm sorry, Paul. Paul, forgive me. That was my bad. I did not mean to do that. I was trying to send you an emoji. Sorry, Paul. Paul, stay with us. Sorry, guys. Sorry, Tim. Go ahead. I had to apologize before Paul got mad at us.
Yeah, Paul said I bought 49.
Yeah, I know, Tim. I was trying to send you a little trophy emoji, and I accidentally, my computer was freezing up, and it clicked to time you out. I'm so sorry. It's my bad.
Don't change it.
Don't change it. Keep your jersey. We're keeping him at 55 just for you.
Yeah, Darwin Barlow.
Pretend I sent you a trophy emoji because that's what I was trying to do.
Darwin Barlow really had his opportunity tonight. I don't know if I talked about it earlier in the show. I know I was talking to people in chat during the game, but it is a guy who got up. He transferred over from TCU, buried on the depth chart because we've got some great running backs. But he comes in that game on that drive. I did talk about it. On that drive, he just kind of took over that drive and just ran like a bowling ball, man. He was bouncing off people, getting extra yards, bouncing outside. I think that we can't understate how much this team's going to miss Travis Dye. But if we're going to lose guys, I want to lose them at running back and at wide receiver because we've shown that we're deep in both positions. I don't want to see it happen at left tackle, right, or the interior defensive line. These are positions where we probably can't afford. But there we have dudes on this roster, and it showed tonight, and it showed all season.
The keys to the game, I think that we talked about last week, and I said was getting turnovers, right? Winning the turnover battle was, the obvious football stuff. Score more points, of course, but win that turnover battle, and for Caleb to start checking it down and taking what's there. And to spread it around and use all those offensive weapons, and you see, it's terrible losing Guy. I mean, it's just such a great guy, and he contributed so much to the culture that that's going to live on past him. Like building that culture this year and everything we're talking about with recruiting and everything because of it. A lot of that is on his shoulders, and that's a huge thanks to him. But in losing him, we brought back all those offensive weapons. That offense looked more like we did in those first couple games of the season that I was talking about last week and saying, spread it around, get it out, but hey, credit to the offensive line too, big time. Geez, Caleb just had all the time in the world, but he made the right decisions this time instead of forcing and losing and dropping and, bad percentage shots and all that. It was a shootout, I think, to a certain extent, as we all predicted. I really wanted SC to get to 60 so we could put that on DTR's tiers. But,
that would have been nice. Next year.
Yeah, we covered the spread, right? I mean, we did everything we're supposed to do.
Oh, we did cover this. Yeah, because what was the spread? 2.5?
Spread. It was 2.5 or 2, depending on where you were betting, and we beat them by 3. So
I'll be honest,
baby.
After last night's performances, I thought that both teams might outscore their basketball teams. And there was about in the third quarter, I was thinking this was going to happen, that we were going to outscore both basketball teams.
Well, Tight End Delay said that he runs a lot like Lendale White. Well, he's not quite as heavy. I think Lendale was maybe closer to 240 towards the end there. But he is a legit 211, probably closer to 215 range now, 6 foot guy. So he's a load, and it was, again, for a guy that big to move like that, it is a lot very similar to a guy like Lendale White, who was just a powerful guy. I'll never forget those stiff arms that White would drive people right into the ground, like one after another. But also had that burst to get away. And I think Barlow has a lot of that as well. So good call.
People talking bad about Grinch in the chat and stuff. And I said, guys, patience. Give the guy his own recruiting class.
Yeah.
Freshmen aren't going to do it for you, right? I mean, we know some school in Texas that got, the best class and see how they're doing, right? And I expect they'll be better next year, even after we take a bunch of their transfers.
I think we're going to do that.
But
we're going to get a few of them.
I do like what you
should stop Charbonnet today, right?
Yeah, under 100 yards. I think that was their goal, right? That's what they're looking at, D-Mac, right? That was probably their goal. We're going to keep that. That dude's not going to beat us on the ground. And guess what? That dude didn't beat us on the ground. I think you're right. We gave a lot of yards through the air because of it, but they were set to stop him, and they did a lot. Again, a lot of their yards was, if DTR is not rushing for 75 yards, then they're probably not getting close to 200 yards. It was an impressive effort. There were some opportunities out there, right? We all have to admit there's some missed tackles and opportunities out there that probably could have made those numbers a lot better. But overall, the defense played well. Again, well enough to win. Those 3 turnovers were the difference in the game, right?
Fumble, interceptions. Come on, yeah.
Was it 3 or 4?
Yeah.